I'm not a professional speaker, and I'm very grateful that you've asked me to come here to speak about Bernie Sanders. And because I think it's really important what we do with our vote this year, more than any other time in recent history. Because it's funny, my mother is from South Carolina, the Low Country, and my dad is from Opelika. And so when I tell them that I'm endorsing Bernie Sanders, I'm supporting Bernie Sanders, they're like, are you crazy? And they go, who is Bernie Sanders? So I can answer those questions very easily. I mean, Bernie Sanders was born in Brooklyn, and he went to the University of Chicago, and while he was there, he worked with the Congress of Racial Equality Corps, and he fought against segregation in housing, segregation in education. He was arrested for talking about police brutality. He marched on Washington with Martin Luther King Jr. for racial justice and jobs. So that alone would tell me that this is someone that I want to put my energy behind. But in recent years, he's been the mayor of Burlington, Vermont. And while he was mayor, he turned the local business into a community-owned business. He also helped to turn around the city so that I'm sorry, I'm just getting my notes together, that the housing there is resident-owned, that the supermarket is like a community-owned supermarket, and he's now a sitting senator in Washington, D.C. for Vermont. And when I talk about Bernie Sanders, I like to just sort of say that he is someone who speaks for us. He speaks for the regular working American person who doesn't have $1 billion in the bank, who doesn't have a husband that used to be president or a brother that used to be president. He wants all of us to have the America that we think we should have. He wants to end racial injustice. He wants affordable college for everyone. He wants to fight back against the billionaire class, for instance, that doesn't pay their fair share in taxes. He wants to make sure that he can use those taxes to tax them fairly so that that money can go towards creating affordable college, creating health care for everyone, creating a way out of the prison industrial complex that leads someone from high school to jail and then to where. So, I don't know if you know this, but most prisons in this country are for profit. The more people they put in jail, the more money they make. And we know that this disproportionately affects our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters. And Bernie is the one candidate, the only candidate, who actually says this has to stop. He is the one candidate that actually speaks the name of Sandra Bland and Michael Brown and Freddie Gray when he's out there. He's actually someone who says that this cannot stand. He wants us to have the ability to make sure that our children get proper education, that we get decent jobs, that we get a decent wage. And I believe Bernie Sanders because he is not someone who's doing it for himself. He's doing it for all of us. He wants us to join in that fight. He wants all of us to actually, as he likes to say, roll up our sleeves and make it a movement of the people. That government is supposed to serve us. We're not supposed to serve the government. This is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and yet people are living in poverty who work 40 hours a week. And that's not right, because we know what's happening is that the billionaires are not paying their fair share. The millionaires are hiding their money. They're sipping it overseas. What Bernie wants to do is to make sure that we all are part of this America, that we can renew this country, that we can put money towards affordable schools, affordable health care. He wants to make sure that we have decent work. He wants to rebuild this country, rebuild our roads, rebuild our highways. He wants to make sure that we are able to fulfill the dream of America because we are America, not the rich people, most definitely not them. He wants to make this more of an equal playing field. In order to do that, we need to be involved. We need to, first of all, make sure you're registered to vote as a Democrat, and and find out about Bernie Sanders wherever you can. There's more information out there. There's much more that he's doing than I can tell you in a couple of minutes. But this man is not in it for himself. And he's been consistent. He has the most consistent record as far as civil rights, the most consistent record as far as talking down racial injustice, the most consistent record of saying that I am for tax reform, I am for prison reform. I feel like these are just subjects that really resonate with me. When I heard this from Bernie, I thought, this is somebody that I know is speaking to me. This is someone that I can say, I believe him, I want to be behind him, I want to galvanize people to actually find out more, to make sure that this happens. You know, and again, it's just, I don't know, it's just right. So, I don't know, if you have any other questions, you know, I can answer them for you, but, you know, Bernie Sanders says that when we stand together for justice, we win. You know, when men and women stand together for justice, we win. When the poor, when the rich, when the black, when the white, when we stand together, unified, you know, we will always win. But it's up to us to actually make it happen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.